Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and this is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Check it out. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us alongside Paulie Sibilia. I'm Stephen Fonte. We've made it to Thursday here on Orange Nation. We've got two guests lined up for you. Brian Rauf will join us at 12:30. He's a college basketball writer for the Basket Under Review. And at 1 o'clock, Chaston Tavares, the play-by-play man for McNeese State, will be on with us as we dive into Garway Dual's game. We'll get to know about the newest point guard here for the Orange. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. What's up, Paulie?
Not much, Steve. How'd you sleep last night?
Not enough. How about you?
Fine.
I
did great.
Okay. Seem like you're in a bad mood.
I am. My co-host is. Just doesn't care about the show, but we don't need to talk about that on the air. We don't need to.
I told you I was here. I just wasn't here. I wasn't sitting in the studio with you, chopping it up before the
I know.
Before the show.
It's just this time of year. There's not a lot to talk about, so we should probably chop it up before the show a little.
Well, let me know.
I mean, we got Albany added to the basketball schedule. We could probably milk that for
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
I mean, so much of this is, speculation, right? How this whole roster is going to play itself out and whatnot. You know, you talk about the schedule. You've got, there's Albany lined up, obviously, now. There's Indiana. There's Providence. We assume there's going to be a game at Madison Square Garden. We assume there's going to be an ACC-SEC challenge game. And we assume that Colgate and Cornell are going to be back on the schedule as Jerry had told, Donna and Mike Waters over at Syracuse.com. So that is what? That's 2, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 of your games that are likely to be spoken for. Nothing official on these things yet. We know the Indiana game is going to be really early, right? Probably.
Yeah. Paul keeps putting that as a road game. It's a neutral site.
It is a neutral site game, technically a road game.
Yeah.
It's in Indianapolis. But yes, Providence is going to be a neutral site game in Boston. And then if it is St. John's at the Garden, I mean, that could be looked at as either a neutral site game if it's part of an event, but that's a road game as well. So
I'm hoping that's a home and home. But what do I know?
That'd be nice. It'd be nice. Get Pitino back in the Dome and get Syracuse back in the Garden. And, I would agree with you. I think that would be a great series to have back on the schedule. And you would like that a lot more than Georgetown. I know you've kind of thumbed your nose at the Georgetown series.
UConn, get Nova back. I don't even care Providence. It's fun to go to Providence. So the crowds there are electric. It's fun. And you just, the Georgetown's been beaten into the ground. Bring back Seton Hall for a couple games. Who cares?
Providence next year in particular brings some storylines with it, right? Because of Brian Hodgson. So, St. John's, if St. John's is indeed on the schedule at the Garden, you've got the Donnie Freeman revenge game. So, that's how the schedule is shaping up to this point. And again, I said this earlier in the week. It looks a lot like last year's did. The Vegas trip has been replaced by a few of these neutral site games. The Garden, if it does happen, the TD Garden going to Boston and going out to Indy there. That replaces what was, that Vegas event that again, Syracuse, I don't know how much they enjoyed their time in that event, especially the way that it ended, having to play Iowa State on short notice.
It's almost better. I mean, the NIL part of it's good, but it's almost better to make your schedule.
Because you can prepare, know who you're playing. And which again is why I was surprised yesterday that you were talking so much about how fans are going to hate this if they go back to the Garden. They play a marquee team. That's essentially what they did last year. Just wasn't in the Garden. It was in Vegas.
Steve, I am on the same wavelength as the fans, and they probably would have preferred we play Seton Hall at the Garden. Just get a win against the Power Four.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Or Power 5.
Yeah, Power 5.
You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You're such a pain in my...
But again, nobody would have batted an eye if they stayed in the Vegas tournament because they were supposed to be, and you're not playing Seton Hall in that.
We were prepared for that. We were prepared for that, but now they're making the schedule.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I think it's...
it is fine, but I do I understand the trepidation about playing a UConn or St. John's or somebody like that year one.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it plays out because we don't know that that's the opponent. I mean, we're speculating that it's St. John's or UConn. We don't know for a fact that that's the opponent. So that's kind of where that argument or that debate originated yesterday. We were just talking before the show. See what happens when we talk before the show? Leads to an argument right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's just, and I also kind of like that you're playing these games what look like could be quad 1, maybe a quad 2 game, are neutral sites because that makes them better quad 1 or quad 2 wins. And then maybe you just knock off all, the fans may not like it, but maybe you do just play the Colgates, Cornells, and whatnot at home, and you roll through that part of your schedule at home.
Yeah. And again, we don't know.
They could add one more, yes.
The other thing we don't know is we don't know for sure. I mean, we're assuming that the ACC-SEC challenge is on the road, but again, we don't know that for sure either.
It's pretty much a given.
You would think.
Or you could be the team that's, every year, someone's going to get left out, too. And I doubt it'd be Syracuse, but everybody's going to get it once.
Yeah.
So
you're right. Yes. I'm just saying there are things that, there's information we're not privy to that obviously the coaches are privy to. So we'll see how it all lays out at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew. I guess that's what that's part of the fan base worry right now. I'm all for it. Let's roll.
Yeah.
I want to go see them play St. John's. I want it to be competitive. But, yeah, I want to play Indiana. I want to see them out there in their ugly-ass candy cane warm-ups. I'm all for that. Let's do it. It just seems they're not dodging anybody, that's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I go back to this Players era event in Vegas, and it would be the same thing. It's just you happen to, instead of playing them in 3 days, you're playing them spread out, and you're playing them in different locations.
You're picking them now.
Yeah. Okay.
You're making the schedule. They were making the schedule for you there, and you knew what you were getting into.
Okay. Yes. So, you're not going to have to play, Michigan, for instance. They won't be on the schedule because, they're in that event.
Yeah, you don't have to play Auburn. You don't have to play Tennessee.
I mean, don't you think, again, just bear with me here. You say you're picking them. Don't you think they have a pretty good chance to beat a Providence? Like you would think they're going to be on a pretty even playing field with Providence.
I don't know right now, but you would hope.
You would hope, yes. Indiana's obviously spending a lot of money, but Indiana is not Michigan, for instance, or Florida.
That we know of yet.
Okay. But I'm just saying,
but I also think Indiana has taken a step up in talent.
They're spending a lot of money. Yes, they are spending a lot of money. I guess my point is if you look at that Players era field, there are several teams, a large number of teams, I would say, that are above both Providence and Indiana right now.
Providence hasn't really shied away from spending money either.
Correct. That's true. That is true.
So I don't think any of them are gimmies.
I didn't say it's a gimme.
You said, but I know, but you
said you're picking them like, I get that St. John's or UConn would be aggressive, right? But that would be, if you went.
I think Indiana's aggressive, but.
Yeah, but you got to play these games.
Yes, I get that. I want them to play these games. It's just, it's a matter of we'll find out, do you take baby steps or you just jump feet first into the fire, and it seems like they're jumping feet first into the fire.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. All right, that is our opening drive brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero. We're going to step aside here. We want to stay on time for our first guest coming up at 12:30. Brian Rauf is a college basketball writer for the Basket Under Review. Chaston Tavares is the play-by-play man for McNeese State. He'll join us at 1 o'clock. We'll get a scouting report on Garway Dwal, and we'll mix in your phone calls throughout the show at 315-437-7644. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
That's also a thing, too. It is better to lose to these good teams than it is to win at home against bad teams. Wake Forest stayed on the bubble a long time because they were 2 points behind Michigan.
Yeah.
We can hit on that part, too. That's something we can discuss.
What's that?
What we just said. Oh, God damn it, Ryan. You need a hobby. The graphics look like an 80s movie. I have not had any dates this week. I goof on Quadier still. No. Your obsession with making pictures of me is as weird as Gaper's obsession with my body parts. How's YouTube doing? Let's see. Notice none of you guys yelled ads today. Craig here, they could play St. John's at the Garden and have it be a neutral site game also, so... Do you know why? Because Steve doesn't know a damn thing he's talking about, Grant from Ohio. I'll say it. Ice cubes, bitch. I make dough, but don't call me dough boy. That's what I thought of as soon as I said ice cube, bitch. Do I collect autographed baseball? I don't collect them. I have some. Oh, people were asking about the shirt. I usually get one Syracuse shirt a year. I don't wear them on the show very often, but I have like a whole closet full of these damn things. I don't know what year this is. This was the least wrinkled one because I haven't done laundry. right?
Went down the wrong pipe.
You sick? Spreading your germs?
Said went down.
I noticed you turned towards me to cough.
Turn like that.
Yeah, towards me. I don't like you today.
I could tell.
You Might Think was the number 7 song on this day, 1984. Steven, I sent you guys all an Instagram post that Bill Simmons was saying the exact same thing about the year 1984 I was. It's so bizarre. You can't tell me our phones aren't listening to us. Well, I mean, it was almost word for word.
It showed up on your feed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he laid it all out. You guys might be right about 84.
But isn't it weird? Like, I get why you would like 1984. I don't think I'm a lone person, and 1984 was the greatest year of my life. Pop culture, everything, the Olympics. But it's just weird that popped up first when I started doom scrolling last night in bed. That was the first thing that popped up, was Bill Simmons breaking down 1984. And my phone was clearly spying on me.
Clearly.
Or listens to the show.
I think he was spying on you as well, because you're right. It was pretty much word for word what you said.
I mean, it's just facts. It's not, it's not like he was spewing any idea that I came up with. It was
I know.
This movie came out, this happened. But 1984 was a great year for movies, for music, for pop culture, for everything was fun in 1984. If I could go back in my DeLorean, that is the year I would go to. And I would freak everybody out. I'd be like, yo, we got to go see this movie. And they're like, why? I go, just trust me. This is going to be good.
What year, remind me of what year they did go back. In the
1985 was the
That's
year
what
they
it was,
were
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, it was pretty close to that.
It was in October of 1985?
Yeah, it was pretty close to that. Okay.
All right. We were just discussing something also that you can benefit from playing these games of if it's a huge game at the Garden against a top 10 team. If you're playing Indiana, a neutral site, and they're a top 25 team. Providence, if you're playing them at a neutral site. If you hang with these teams, your net ranking will go up. I'll use Wake Forest as an example. Wake Forest lurked around the bubble for much longer than Syracuse did this year because they hung tight against Michigan at Michigan.
Yeah.
And it does help. But, and if you bottom line, you win those games, you are ahead of the 8 ball. Most people use the term behind the 8 ball, but you could sometimes be ahead of it, Steve. And if you win a couple of these games, you are ahead.
I sent you this last night, that if you look at the Quad 1 records of the 8 teams that would have made the tournament, well, again, if you go by the numbers, the 8 teams that would have been projected in the field of 76 as opposed to the field of 68, they had a combined Quad 1 record of 26-70. Oklahoma was 4-10, Auburn was 4-13, Indiana was 3-10, San Diego State was 3-8, down the list.
And you remember this? Yes, they're not great. They're not great records, but you got to remember, like, another thing of why Red wasn't fired. Hey, there's still 3 Quad 1 wins on the schedule. That would have put them at 4 and on the bubble.
Right.
And you can get yourself on the bubble or in the tournament now if you have 4 Quad 1 wins and an average record.
Right. So this goes back to, why do you play these games? There's a lot of reasons why you play these games, but you give yourselves more opportunity to earn those Quad 1 wins. So again, if 4-10 was good enough to hang on the bubble, 4-13 was good enough to hang on the bubble. The more opportunities you have, the better off theoretically you're going to be. And in some ways, there's less pressure on those early quad one games than there is on, the lesser games, because, they would go into a game against Binghamton. Well, they got to win by 30, or it's it's going to be looked at as a black mark against their schedule.
Well, you've got to do that too.
No,
now.
I understand, but I'm just saying, like, at least with these quad one opportunities, the teams are really good. It's not going to necessarily hurt your resume unless you lose by 31 to Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State. If they had lost to Iowa State by a couple of points,
right,
they probably were on the bubble longer.
Right, and they had that Houston game that was close, but that got erased by the fact that they lost to Hofstra and got absolutely obliterated by Iowa State. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got John in Liverpool kicking us off today. John, what's going on?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I think it's great that I hope it is St. John's in the Garden, and I hope it is Providence. I mean, why do you want to play teams like Maine and Binghamton and some of these games that aren't even close to quad one games? And you know what? I think it's kind of that's the McIntyre mantra, man. He's kind of like, bring it on. And I'll say another thing. Do you think he's going to have those guys ready to play? I don't know what exactly the roster is going to look like. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be ready to rock. So why not play some big boys? And I think it's good to play them early, like you guys mentioned. I'd rather play them in November or early December than after the first of the year, too.
Yeah, I'm not saying you play Maine or anything like that. I'm saying Seton Hall, Providence is a good one, for example, but they're probably going to be good. Yeah, so, yeah.
Isn't Providence, too? Didn't the coach that made it clear he wasn't interested in coming here, didn't he go to Providence?
Yeah, Brian Hodgson. Brian Hodgson's there, yeah. And again, we still don't really know what happened with that. If if it was his decision or SU's decision or a combination of the two, we still don't really, we never really got a clear answer on that. Brian Blair said they did not offer him. Brian Hodgson's people said they turned down an offer. So
who cares?
Yeah. Well, I think we'll care next season when they play each other. We'll be talking about it.
Yeah, I just don't care about that stuff. Donnie Freeman will be fun.
Again, if it happens. We know Providence is going to happen. We don't know that St. John's is going to happen.
Donnie Freeman will be fun.
We think that makes a lot of sense. I think St. John's in the Garden makes a lot of sense.
Sadiq White guarding Donnie Freeman could be fun to watch if that happens.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Agreed.
Lock him up. And you know what else is funny? That if it is St. John's, is Patino came out and said Jerry should, he kind of gave Jerry the thumbs up for the Syracuse job when he was asked about the Siena Duke game.
Yeah, right. Yes.
That's it, and there's probably a part of the fan base. There is part of the fan base that think Rick Pitino should be coaching Syracuse, and they will now poo-poo the fact that Rick Pitino said Jerry should be the coach. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, that's the stupidest thing he's ever said.
Yeah, right. Right.
So,
no, it's, we are going to learn a lot about this team through the non-conference, and I think that's a good thing because there have been years where you go into the conference play and you're like, well, we really don't know a lot about this team yet. Yeah, you're going to know something about this team.
But we were also fooled by this team last year in the non-conference. We're like, all right, this team could be good, and then
yeah. I know everybody points to the defense. I do think they had the potential to be a good defensive team. I think and I don't want to say they gave up because that's
it looked like it.
An aggressive accusation, but it did feel like in games that they were not giving maximum effort. And that's unfortunate because I think we saw, especially early in the year, when they were giving maximum effort on the defensive end, what it looked like against good teams. And then once they got tripped up a couple times, it was over.
It just also had to be difficult. Like this is going to get me killed for saying this, Steve. You go out there, you're busting your butt, you're hanging tough with the teams in Vegas, you get back here, and just you're 18 to 20 and you're reading social media, and they were just brutal to these kids. And they probably are just like, I don't care now.
I'm getting my million and I'm putting in my time and I'm out.
People don't realize you're in Syracuse, New York and everything. Like that Bill Simmons thing, I'm talking about 1984, popped up on my screen. You don't think that every SU basketball player sees what's said about him on social media and whatnot?
Oh, I'm sure. And again, it's not unique to Syracuse. We've talked about this. This is happening across colleges across the country.
Yeah. No, I know, but it was, I don't want to say it's different than any other fan base, but just the vitriol towards Red and certain players. Like, I liked Nate George. I would have liked him back. It just the things that were said about that kid, it was brutal.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about it's not unique to Syracuse because it isn't, and you go down to like SEC football country, and there's been examples of
kickers
getting death threats because they missed a field goal at the end of a game, and it's awful what young people have to deal with right now. But I know people will say, well, they're getting paid. Well, they're not getting paid to deal with that.
Yeah, Tronic says probably finding a way to try and blame the fans. I'm not blaming the fans. You can say what you want. Just know there's ramifications to it.
Yeah.
You could go out and be a jerk all day. I do it. I get paid to be a jerk all day. You can do it. You just know that people aren't going to like you, and it's going to affect people that are seeing it.
Yeah. For sure. And I don't know how much of that played into last year. I think you're right. I think it was a factor. It wasn't at the top of the list, but I'm sure it contributed to what happened. And it did seem like as the season wore on that
you can tell by the press. When the press would talk to him, they're just They were more than defeated from losing basketball.
I mean, JJ didn't talk to the media after a game for like a 2.5 month stretch.
Yeah. Because he's going to get asked about his coach, and it was in their heads. You can't say it wasn't.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think it was probably a bigger factor that I think once they got tripped up by Hofstra and then really BC seemed to kind of seal the deal. I think they realized, man, we're not going to make the tournament, and human nature is, well, you have two choices, right? You can either fight back and dig in, or you could just kind of wave the white flag, and it seems like they kind of waved the white flag.
Yeah. And just because you make millions of dollars doesn't mean you don't have mental health issues or it doesn't get to you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's pro players that have gotten the yips and whatnot. It just, before you hit the send button, just think about it. They're probably going to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with you.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can send it. I send dumb stuff out on Twitter all the time. You just got to know that it's going to affect some people in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, again, you go back to last year, and it was there's such a fine line between winning and losing, right? They lose that Hofstra game. There was the no call on Cayenne. A couple plays in that game go differently. They win. If they win that one, if Donnie makes one free throw at the end of the BC game, if anybody makes one free throw at the end of the Houston game, it's a completely different season. But that's not what happened. And and I think we saw once they lost those games in the manner that they did, they never recovered from it.
Yep. Michael Antonio brings up a great point. I sent a mean text comment to him on Facebook. Cracked a bad dad joke. And I said, your joke is bad and you should feel bad. And I now have to deal with the ramifications that I may have hurt his feelings.
You don't care about that. We know that.
I may have upset him.
All right. We're going to hit a timeout here as we'll get to our first guest on the other side. Brian Rauf, college basketball writer for the Basket Under Review, joins us on the other side. Chaston Tavares from McNeese State will be on with us at 1 o'clock to talk about Garway Dwal. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
There, I got Steve back.
Who's a team I'd like to see Q schedule in the non-conference? I mean, I do like the going back to the Big East roots a little bit. And I think that, Syracuse is on an even playing field with a lot of those teams. I know you guys, were saying Providence has a good roster. Yeah, they're spending more money than they have in the past. They got some Power 4 guys on their roster, but I think that's a comparable matchup. I think, Seton Hall, Villanova, like any of those, I think would be attractive to SU fans.
Home would be good.
Villanova, yeah.
How was the funeral service for the Zit? That's a good question.
That was so last week, right? That was before the draft show. Cleared right up in the nick of time.
You know who I would like to see? If you could go non-conference, one team I would like to see Syracuse schedule? Kentucky. I know it's kind of hypocritical of what I'm saying, but if I had to pick one team, it'd be Kentucky. Did you hear him?
We're good?
Yep. Did you hear the name?
Say it again? Yeah, that's what I said, right? Okay, good.
Woo-wee! It used to be Duke. I'd be like, I'd love to see schedule a home and home with Duke down there in the conference.
Yeah.
Not playing Minnesota or DePaul.
USC, isn't there where Jalen Cox went?
You said Cox. Oh, no. Oh, I see what's happening. My computer is freaking out. And I figured it out, Steve. The number 6 song, I'm struggling. In 1984, Love Somebody by Rick Springfield. Steve, before we get to our guest, I just want to address one comment in our social, on our chat. Paulie tried to draw a straight line between internet commenters and team effort, as if the solution is, if nobody has anything nice to say, don't say it at all. No, that's the complete opposite of what I said. I said you can say whatever you want. Just before you hit the send button, realize it affects the people who read it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I can't disagree with you. I mean, there have been countless examples.
And it's not just Syracuse.
Right.
Social media affects college-age kids. I'm sorry. If you don't like that, you're I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to call him dumb.
You're going to behave today.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to, because then it just is the exact same thing I said you shouldn't do. I got to give it like a 5-minute buffer before I call somebody dumb.
Yeah, I mean, there have been countless examples of players across the country that, have gone on the record in front of the media and, tears in their eyes, saying that the, social media got to them during the year. They felt like they didn't live up to expectations and so on and so forth. And again, I'm not saying it's at the top of the list.
Orange says,
but I think it's on.
No, it doesn't, Paul. You know what impacts the games? Making stops and getting baskets. Yeah, okay. That does also. But don't think social media doesn't have even the slightest bit of effect on college-age kids.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I'm with you, Paulie. All right, let's get to our guest as we bring on Brian Rauf, college basketball writer for the Basket Under Review. And Brian, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Let's jump right in to this Syracuse roster. What do you make of? It seems like it's just about complete. 11 scholarship players signed to this point. What do you make of what Jerry McNamara is trying to build here?
Shout out to Jerry McNamara for having his roster almost done, by the way, as well. There are coaches out there with 1 and 2 players on their roster, so just to be ahead of the game right now is certainly a good thing. He's put together a roster that's got a lot of versatility. It's got a good bit of size at every position. There's a difference between size and positional size. It seems to have a good balance of both there. There is some projection of guys going from lower levels of college basketball up to the power conference level and the ACC level, but they're all guys who have thrived or guys who have shown tools or flashed the ability to play at a high level. So I'm very intrigued by what McNamara's put together already.
In terms of, and we're going to have Chaston Tavares, he's the play-by-play man for McNeese State here, coming up at 1 o'clock to talk about Garway Dwell, the new point guard of this team. When you look at him, for instance, and I guess the backcourt in general, do you feel like they've got enough firepower in that backcourt with who they've signed?
I do. Dwell is somebody who has always had this sort of tantalizing potential, given his size, given his length, given the playmaking ability he has shown, given some of the scoring outbursts he has shown. Consistency has always been his issue, and McNeese allowed him to show a little bit more of that from a playmaking standpoint, but still wasn't the most efficient perimeter shooter than you would like from somebody who's going to play on the perimeter that way. Really good defender, but that was at the Southland level. Right now, you're asking him to be a high-level defender in the ACC, which, again, he has the physical capabilities to do so. The consistency hasn't always been there. Like, the production hasn't always matched maybe the talent level for Dwell, and I think that's the challenge for McNamara, is trying to get those to marry themselves more, make the production reflect some of that potential that he has shown.
Jerry talked a few weeks back during his Welcome Back event about the importance of retention, and he was able to retain 2 guys, Kyan Anthony and Sadiq White. So let's talk about those two. Both guys that they came in with high expectations, a lot of potential, didn't play as much maybe as freshmen as they would have liked to, and there were various reasons for that. Sadiq had Donnie Freeman in front of him. Kyan had some struggles on the defensive end. It was hard to keep him on the court. What do you expect as they go from year 1 to year 2 and probably a bigger role on next year's team? What kind of jump do you expect these 2 young men to make?
I expect them to make pretty big jumps, if we're being honest. I don't know if we're going to, see them turn into stars right away or anything like that. But particularly for Kyan Anthony, I think there was an element of kind of finding yourself and what you can do at this level. I think the last 2 freshman classes overall have re-skewed in our minds the fact that we may think now that it is not as difficult to make the adjustment from the high school game to the college game because of how quickly and easily a lot of the higher end guys and big names did it. But it's still a hard adjustment to make, right? And I think we saw that particularly with Kyan Anthony, where the efficiency wasn't always there. You mentioned the defense. That matters more at this level. You can't skate by just on athleticism and size. Everybody's athletic. Everybody's got size at this level. So for him, I think there was just sort of that freshman realization that most freshmen have. Sadiq White is somebody who I think, adjusted to the physicality of the game. He was productive, but again, kind of a minor role there. Now that his role is going to be bigger, I think we see him be a very vital cog for this team.
One common thought that we've gotten from viewers and listeners of late has to do with the fact that there's a lack of Power 4 experience on this roster. Obviously, Kyan and Sadiq had it, but the transfers coming in for the most part are from mid majors. Is that a concern for you when you look at this roster, that you don't see a lot of guys who have done it and succeeded at the Power 4 level in the past?
It is something of a concern, but a lot of the teams that are in Syracuse's level, or at least let's say outside of the Dukes and North Carolinas in the ACC, the transfers they're bringing in are from these levels too, right? So it is sort of a thing where everybody's kind of graduating up, and there's a lot of them from the mid-major or small major ranks up now to the power conference level. So it's not just Syracuse that's going to have that issue. The bigger issue is going to be how quickly they come together, build some chemistry, and play cohesive, and that's on McNamara to figure out.
In terms of the schedule they're putting together, we've talked a lot about this in recent days. They've got Indiana in Indianapolis. They've got Providence at the TD Garden in Boston. They were hearing that they're most likely going to add a game at Madison Square Garden, and we're speculating that to be either UConn or St. John's at the Garden. They've got the ACC-SEC Challenge, which we don't know who that's going to be yet. Do you like this in year one for Jerry, going out and challenging themselves like that, or do you, as Paulie said a little bit earlier, is there that concern that you're biting off more than you can chew right away?
No, go do it now. Go do it now. Year one, you're going to have goodwill no matter what. Number one, because of who McNamara is and what he means to Syracuse, but there's an understanding, too, of where this program has been, that there is a need to rebuild. And so if you're going to go out there and really challenge yourself, you need to see where you're at. And they're playing games, going to places that are going to put Syracuse in, I don't want to say in the news, because that's Syracuse has been, but they're going to be more higher profile games. They're going to be in settings and against teams that are going to draw more casual eyeballs and more attention than maybe playing it safe and hosting a bye game in those spots. So I like McNamara getting out there, getting aggressive, getting some buzz around Syracuse again, because that's kind of been the thing that's faded the last couple of years, is there's not a lot of national buzz around Syracuse. There's been a ton of just apathy towards the program, and playing these kind of games, playing them at the locations they're going to be playing them at, are going to generate the kind of buzz where it kind of helps erode some of that apathy.
Brian, you said a moment ago that there are some coaches out there that have 2, 3, 4 players on their roster, and Jerry's got 11 at this point, and maybe some of that was coaches waiting on what was going to happen with the 5-for-5, and there are reports out there that it's not official yet, but that it would not be retroactive, meaning the guys who just ran out of eligibility will not get that extra year going into next season. Do you think that will stick, or because I think we all can see that there've been lawsuits every step of the way. Do you anticipate lawsuits, somebody saying, that's not fair, this is going to go into effect, I should be able to take advantage of it? Do you think ultimately that the guys who just wrapped up their eligibility will not be able to play in the fall?
They will not be able to play in the fall. I think that's pretty well and good. The lawsuit process is not going to be done, I think, quick enough if they were to sue to have them be ready to play for the start of the season. I'm not going to sit here and say I would not expect them to not be able to play, let's say next off season. But by that point, you probably should have gotten a head start on any professional career that you were going to have at that point. So yeah, I think while the rule has not passed yet, it's not going to go into effect for this year. They're not going to reverse on that. And I think it's important to remember, too, with that, because we talk about it from the basketball space, it would impact football, too. And pretty much every program in the country, football-wise, has wrapped up spring camp already. And so you're going to open up another portal window, essentially, for football 2 months out from the start of the season, 3 months out from the start of the season. That's not going to be a good thing for anybody, in addition to the extra, essentially portal wave it would cause college basketball. Logistically, it doesn't make any sense. So I would expect them to keep it with going into effect for next offseason.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. What do you think about the rule in general? Do you look at this as a step in the right direction for college athletics?
It's a step in the right direction from the fact it makes things simpler, right? Ever since they put that COVID rule in for the 5th year and that year not counting, which at the time I think was a smart thing to do given everything that went into that and what have you. But the byproducts of that and what has happened since then are all the losses in court, the questions about if JUCO years actually count or not because of the NIL impacts and things like that. Guys getting waivers for partial years they've played that may or may not count as red shirts. It's gotten so confusing from who's got eligibility left, who's not, who's got a case, and who's not. And if there's a question about it, they're going to challenge the NCAA in court because of the NCAA's record in court has not been great. So this 5-5, making no exceptions, no red shirts, things like that, with the exception of religious and military service. Those are the only exceptions. It makes things cleaner. It takes some of the gray area out. I think we didn't need to get to this point if the NCAA simply said no and held their ground on a lot of things that happened even back in like 2021, 2022, when some of the first cases kind of came up. But I know the courts have had an issue with there, and we're here now. And with where we're at now, making it simple is better. And so I do think the 5-5 helps from that perspective.
In terms of tournament expansion, going from 68 to 76, we talked about it on the show a little bit yesterday. I'm kind of indifferent to it. I mean, it adds a few more games, but ultimately you're still going to end up with that bracket of 64 at the end of the day. What do you make of the expansion to 76? Do you like it? Are you against it?
It's needless, I would say. I'm against it. Again, it's not going to impact my enjoyment of the sport, my coverage of the sport. I think the way we view the NCAA tournament. But the teams that are going to be playing in that are, by and large, more of the teams in power conferences that have losing conference records, right? It's going to be teams that are playing in the opening round of their conference tournaments, right? In the 14 seed versus the 11 seed in the Big Ten, you're getting like that caliber of game now on Tuesday or Wednesday of the NCAA tournament. And that to me feels needless, right? Particularly because conference tournaments are a pathway to get to the NCAA tournament and a path for a championship for anybody. You have 31 regular season games to get yourself figured out and put yourself in position to where, what happens in the conference tournament doesn't matter. And now we're lessening that margin for error. I do think it waters down the regular season probably more than it should for the power conference teams. I would love to see them put some guardrails in place or some parameters in place to where these extra games, and I think there's 12 now in what they're calling the opening round, the larger first four essentially, to make it to where it can solve the bubble debates that we've been having for the last couple of years on the court. Like, put some of these mid-majors that were dominant in conference play, won 27 regular season games, but lost in the Missouri Valley semifinals, let's say. Put them against the Auburn from last year who won the NIT, but I think was 17-16 going into Selection Sunday or so. Like, probably not worthy of a tournament bid, but all their metrics because of the schedule they played allowed them to have a case. Let's put those games in because I think that adds some intrigue. That I think adds a benefit, adds something new, adds an intriguing perspective to the tournament. They're not going to do that because this is a push by the power conferences to get more NCAA tournament units and get more money. But if we are going to expand, I would like to see something put in place to where it's not just allowing more of these power conference teams that probably didn't deserve to get in anyway during the regular season. I'd like to see more of the mid-majors get in and get rewarded for good regular seasons, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. I guess lastly, we talked a lot about Syracuse with you, Brian. When you look at the ACC as a whole throughout the start of the transfer portal here and college basketball free agency, does anybody stand out to you to this point in the ACC?
Louisville. In particular, Louisville's been really good under Pat Kelsey, and they haven't had the tournament success that the fan base would like. This team is a little bit different, though, for Louisville. Like, Pat Kelsey's first team there got some good pieces that fit and worked, and they overachieved. But, we kind of saw what happened in the NCAA tournament. That team was, I think, reached its ceiling. Last year's team was constructed in a very analytically sound way. But the byproduct of that was it had some flaws on court from a defensive perspective and from an interior perspective and from having multiple guys who could attack the rim off the bounce. Like, outside of Michael Brown, they didn't really have that. This year's team, I feel like, has a little bit of everything where they're still going to play Pat Kelsey's system, but you brought in high-level, proven power conference transfers, right? Jackson Shelstad, Carter Knox, Vol Fergaris, Fleur Badunga have all played big minutes and been incredibly productive in some of the biggest games that you could possibly play in this sport. You put them in this system that I think fits all of their games as well. Louisville's a team for me that I think could really take off this season, and Pat Kelsey could shed some of the doubts and the notions of, we can't win the big one, we can't advance really far in March. I think this is the team that kind of breaks all that for him.
All right, Brian, great insight. We loved having you on. Thanks so much for coming on, and we appreciate it, and hopefully we can talk again down the road.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
All right, Brian Rauf, college basketball writer for the Basket Under Review. With that, we'll hit a timeout. We'll check in on the market next. We'll give you the results from the final of our Best TV theme song bracket, and then we'll head into the second hour with Chaston Tavares from McNeese State. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
You guys supporting people, just attacking people on social media is the most bonkers thing I think I've ever seen.
Say that again?
just the support of being able to attack people because they make millions of dollars or play basketball is bonkers to me. LeBron James literally said social media affects him. Like, it affects everybody. You shouldn't say it to pro people. You shouldn't do it to anybody. LA Orange, you didn't grow up with social media. You're not 19 years old, and it's how people live now. It's 90% of their day. It affects me. Sometimes I... And like everybody bitching that they got paid, you were 100% fine with the NCAA making millions and millions, if not billions of dollars off these kids. Are they getting paid too much? Yes. And just to say, like, oh, he makes millions of dollars, I could shit all over him. You shouldn't shit on anybody. It's bonkers. I do call you dumb and stupid, but I say it to your face. It's like booing. It's hard to be strong enough to take thousands of tweets of people shitting on you guys. You have no concept, Michael Antonio. Like, if you want to walk up to their face and say it to them, or on a show, call into their show and say it to them, go ahead. That's completely different. Yes, we did. I didn't say they quit on the season because of the comments. I said it affected them. I said it was part of the problem. For God's sakes, at least listen and get it right. Yes, they sucked on defense and scoring also. It affected the players, guys. I say it like to you. I say it to you, Gaper. Steve agrees with me on this take. It's a bad take that social media affects NBA players, college players, MLB players. Padres manager quit because he was getting death threats via social media. Like, guys, shut up. Ask basketball players how they would have handled social media before, if they played before social media. They all say the same thing. It would have crushed them. Walk away from the... LA Orange, you're just being an old person right now. Ban social media? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. How about don't be an a-hole when you're on it, then?
Miss me. I know you miss me.
Oops.
I know you miss me.
The number 5 song, Miss Me Blind, Culture Club. Steve, I am like completely taken aback right now. I'm normally very not surprised just how people act, but just the amount of people that that are like condoning how social media treated last year's basketball team players and coaches. It is absolutely bonkers to me.
Let's get to Bill, and then I got something on that topic. Let's go to Bill from Lee Baldwin Company checking on the market. Bill, what do you got for us today?
We got a real good day going on so far with the Dow up 650 points. A lot of the upside in the Dow is thanks to Caterpillar, which is jumping 9% on strong earnings, record backlog of orders, and a big boom in data centers equipment demand. So that company is doing very well. And then on the downside, we're going to go with Wayfair, symbol W. It's down 9% on earnings. They're saying it was a mixed quarter, and they're saying it's a tough furniture market right now. So, and they're part of the retail business. They're seeing some clients and retailers or customers struggle, but overall, really good day.
All right, Bill, that's what we like to hear. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
All the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com. So while you were talking during the break with the chat about the mental health and whether or not social media comments affect players, I called up Coleman Hawkins's comments from 2 years ago, Kansas State, right? And I know we played that on the show. I'm not going to necessarily play the soundbite here. I'm just going to read you what he said. Because I believe there was a couple things that had to be bleeped out of that comment, if I'm not mistaken. But if you remember, sitting in front of his locker, tears streaming down his face, crying, okay? So says, this article that I found about him. Hawkins dealt with negative comments before as a star forward at Illinois. However, his large NIL deal and massive expectations last season attracted more criticism, especially with Kansas State falling below its NCAA tournament expectations. This is a quote from Coleman Hawkins. When there's a narrative about you, you kind of start believing things. Oh, wait, he's not worth this. He's not worth that. You paid him $2 million. So that was kind of what was going on with me. I had to just get it out of my head. Some games I played free. Some games I didn't. I think it would have helped more if there was more structure, but our team was kind of random at times. And then he goes on to say why he apologized to the fans. He felt like they didn't live up to expectations, and if he could have just blocked out the noise, they would have played better and they could have made the NCAA tournament. One example of many nationwide. And I'm not saying, I understand, I feel like you and I talk sometimes, and I understand perfectly what you're saying, and I think your message is being lost somehow in translation. We're not saying that was the reason, fans' comments was the main reason why things went south last year. But it is on the list of things that the players have to deal with.
It's a snowball effect. It's all part of what made it the giant, horrible snowball it was last year. First thing, coaching. Second thing, players, defense. All that stuff does. But if you don't think social media affects players, you're wrong.
Correct. And you can argue whether or not it should, or they're getting paid millions and they got to be tougher. And I hear all that, but it doesn't change the reality. And the reality is that, and everybody's different. So your comments about player A may not affect player A, but it may affect player B.
I also don't get the whole, that guy's a millionaire. I can talk to him that way. There are people, are some millionaires jerks that deserve it? Yeah, but these kids just are good at basketball, and they're in a world now where it's just a wild, wild west, and they're taking the money they could get. We would all take the money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make you less of a person or more able to handle mental health issues because you have millions of dollars.
Right. And again, going back to what Coleman Hawkins said, and it's not unique to him. You hear the same thing over and over and over and over again, and you start believing it, and then it gets in your own head. And, and I'm not saying this is what happened with JJ, but everybody all year keeps saying, what happened with JJ?
Yeah.
What, I don't know. It seems like, especially at the free throw line, there was a little bit of a, lack of confidence, right? It seemed mental at the line. In terms of the way he played, was there something physical with his injuries from the past, his hand, his shoulder? It may be a combination of all those things. But how else do you explain a kid as talented as him going from what he was as a freshman to what he was as a senior? These things affect kids differently, and I'm not saying that it's all about that, but it is something
huge problem. It is a huge problem in college sports right now.
And if you want to say that it's not, like, again, that's fine. And you say, well, we're providing NIL now. Fans are asked to support this, so and so you feel like you have more of a say. I understand that, but some of it is in the approach and what you say and how you say it.
My argument to that is, how would you react? I'm being asked to pay for the hamburger I'm buying, right? If they screwed up my hamburger and I sat and went up one side of the kid who made it and down the other side of the kid who made it because they effed up my hamburger, you put too many pickles on it, and I called you a dumb loser.
Yeah.
It doesn't, just because you're being asked to pay for it, doesn't give you the right to treat the people that are doing it bad.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And I know we're up against the clock here.
All right.
So.
It's time, Steve. You ready for the winner of the TV theme show national championship?
I am.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are all
Happy Days has won it, Steve.
I would have to imagine it was a big spread going into the championship against the Flintstones. I felt like that Happy Days was the heavy favorite. Do you agree with that?
It was basically Kentucky, Syracuse
right.
in the championship.
Do we know what the final score, like what the vote was? Final vote? Was it a blowout? No, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I do. 60-40.
Oh, so it was close. Okay. All
but
right.
Steve. I had this all set up and it's just horrible audio, but that's perfect for this show. One shining moment. Full house upset. Welcome back, Connor. Who could forget that? 13 versus 4. Another 13-4 upset. Simpsons beat Mary Tyler Moore. Little Vernon Shirley won at the buzzer against the Monkees. What a great moment that was. Sesame Street, the 6th seed, defeated the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Steve. The Final Four, the Jeffersons, was the only one seed to make it to the Final Four before being upset by Happy Days. How did he do this? Do you not listen before you send it to me?
Oh, man.
That was the most Orange Nation thing I have ever heard in my life. Thank you, Paul. Good work.
All right, let's hit a break here. We're going to kick off hour number 2 next with Chaston Tavares, McNeese State play-by-play man.
He somehow downloaded the song from 1992. Like, he got it off of AOL dial-up. That was amazing.
We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Thank you, Paul. You did a great job with that this year, the whole tournament. No, potatoes won, caffeine won, the supplement won. Yeah, bird bracket was the only one that strangely disappeared. I was hoping it was going to be Paul. Did he hear it?
It sounded great when I downloaded it.
What were you listening to it on? What were you listening to it on?
I clicked through it before when I downloaded just to make sure it sounded fun. Sounded horrible.
Did you play it like 5 seconds at once, or did you just
like 10 seconds? And
really?
Yeah, it sounded fine for me. The same thing with one of the songs, whatever song it was. Sounded good for me.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. Yeah.
That
Did not sound good.
It was actually the 2003 version. Because I thought, screw it off YouTube. Syracuse won 2003. We'll do that version. Sounded great out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Live and learn. You'll know for next year. You'll know for next year.
Funny.
Find a different link.
We're going to do 2004.
Okay.
Like, social media affected me this year, and sometimes it wasn't even about me. Like, Matt Park caught some strays this year, and it affected me pretty badly. And I got called some brutal stuff. It affects you. Like, there's times that this chat, like, after the show, I'll be like, oh, my God, I can't believe I went through that today. It's if people, you guys just haven't dealt with it. Michael Antonio, like this goes back to an issue I always had with Pat. Pat doesn't know how to word things. Like, he has good points, but he says things in such a rude and boorish way. Like, what if a player, like, you ask a player, like, why is this not going? Like, if I was to say it, I'd be like, why are you struggling with this? What is happening with that? You don't have to tell them they suck. I have a great time. I laugh at a lot of the stuff you guys say about me. Why am I struggling with the ladies? I'm kind of in retirement mode. I go out on dates every once in a while. I'm not like I'm not putting maximum effort into women right now. He's called in a couple times. That's right. I already been through all the CNY women. Where's Tim's in at the ACC tournament for lacrosse? I like this song a lot, and I don't know why. I like this song a lot, Steve, as we're rolling into hour number 2. The number 4 song, 1984, Thompson Twins, Hold Me Now.
I like this one, too.
I need you to hold me now, Steve. I'm emotionally shot today.
All right, we're driving into our second hour. It's brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero. And as promised, we go right back to our guest line. If you happen to be watching us on QSportsTalk.com, you'll see Chaston Tavares, McNeese State play-by-play broadcaster, to fill us in on Garway Dual. Chaston, thanks so much for the time. How are you doing today?
Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me. Ready to talk a little ball with you guys.
All right, so let's talk about SU's new point guard. What can you tell us about Garway Dual? Break down his game. Give us a scouting report.
Yeah, look for Garway Dual. You know, he obviously came to McNeese via Providence, had a couple of stops, and look, he actually had a pretty good year. Bill Armstrong in his first year, he was kind of filling out the roster and how he wanted to play. It's a first-year head coach, trying to figure out what you want to do. Look, he played a lot of different guys, so early on, he probably didn't get the minutes he necessarily envisioned in the end of the year, even though he was still averaging around 20 minutes a game. Look, this is a guy that he's going to be able to turn guys over. He's a defensive first guard. He can score when he needs to. Look, he played really well when McNeese needed it. Look at the NCAA tournament game against Vanderbilt, double-double, score 16 points, a bevy of rebounds. He played really well in that game. Like I said, can score when you need him to, but look, it all starts with that aggressive defense, especially if you allow him to get out and press, and that's what McNeese did. That was what they hung their hat on all year was defense, and look, he was able to take advantage and really get going there on the defensive end and really create havoc. And look, if Syracuse is able to allow him to do that, that'll really help out his game a little bit.
Syracuse got to see Quadir Copeland go from Syracuse to McNeese to NC State. Is there any similarities in their game, or in what are the differences in their games?
Look, Quadir Copeland, obviously, you guys know him. He comes to McNeese and goes to NC State. He's trying to figure out if he's going to get the fifth year or not, I think, right now. Look, Copeland was an interesting guard. It's funny because Copeland came from Syracuse, and I can remember, that was a real rocky relationship with he and Will Wade there in the early going. And then, a switch was flipped. And if you would have told me in December of that year that he was at McNeese and what was that, 24, if you would have told me that Copeland was going with Will to NC State, I would have probably told you were a liar. But look, I guess I guess more consistent play will turn the tide on it a little bit. And now, obviously, that he could end up at LSU for a fifth year. We'll have to see how that works. But when you look at the two, I think Copeland, they're both very lengthy guards that again can score when they need to, can pop a three whenever you need them to, but their first is with Garway, he's looking defense first. Probably more with Q, it's trying to dish for assist and so on. I mean, look, at times Garway is looking for the assist, but he's more of the defensive player, where probably Q is more on the offensive side of the basketball, where he wants to look for the open shooter and find a bucket.
And just looking at Garway's stats, it seems like he does a nice job taking care of the basketball, only turned it over 1.5 times per game. And I know that was an issue a little bit with Quadir, at least when he was at Syracuse. It was an issue with Nathan George this past year at Syracuse, where he just turned the ball over too much. I guess, can you speak to that a little bit? His ability to initiate the offense and to not turn the ball over while he's doing that.
Yeah, look, again, as I mentioned, Bill Armstrong played a lot of guys last year. So in the early going, it was trying to figure out what point guards to use. And Garway really, towards the end of the year, really, got himself into that point guard one role. And look, did a really good job. I think he was in the top 5 in the country, I think, in assist to turnover. Like, he did a really good job of not turning the basketball over. And that's just a McNeese thing as a whole. They didn't turn the ball over a whole lot, and they turned people over. I think that probably played a little more into the style of it. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, Copeland obviously did turn the ball over quite a bit. Not so much with Garway Dual, but it's certainly, he's a fascinating player to watch, because once he gets going, he can be a lot of fun. Look, I remember the 3 overtime game in the Southland Conference semifinals, just for McNeese to get to the championship game where they would eventually blow out Stephen F. Austin. They had a 3 overtime game with Rio Grande Valley, and had it not been for his late heroics, he ends up coming up with a steal and a putback dunk late in that 3 overtime game. McNeese wouldn't have got out of the semifinals. We would have never seen them play Vanderbilt in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So look, if you allow your game to play to his strength, he can be a very impactful player for you. Again, specifically on the defensive side, and he's not going to turn the ball over a whole lot. And I think that's what you want out of a point guard.
4th school in 4 years. As you mentioned, spent his first 2 years in the Big East, one at Providence, one at Seton Hall, then went to McNeese State, where he got more time and more opportunity. Is there any doubt in your mind whether or not he's a starting point guard at the ACC level type of player?
No, I think even in the Big East, he was fine, and he was up to being a starting point guard in the Big East, and did more than fine job doing it. It's always funny when you talk to people who, like, I remember when Copeland went to NC State, and everybody said, will his game translate? It's the Southland Conference. Will his game translate? And obviously it did. He was one of the best players in the ACC for, quite a little bit, up until, that rough stretch at the end of the year for NC State. So I do think his game will translate. Again, just a guy that doesn't turn the basketball over will help you a ton and get out and create turnovers. So it will be interesting to kind of see him. But if his game translates, yeah, I think it does. Look, you saw him perform at the Big East. I mean, obviously not the minutes he wanted. That's kind of part of the reason he got in the transfer portal, ended up at McNeese. So, look, I think it was a good spot for him to end up landing in a Syracuse program that's trying to, as you guys know, get back to what it was.
Jerry McNamara has said that, he's looking for a certain profile of player in the portal. He's looking for positional size, which Garway Dual has. Check that box. He's looking for guys who are invested on the defensive end. He certainly has that. Check that box. And he's looking for high character guys that, he said that he wants culture is really important to him, right? And so I guess along those lines, do you have any sort of story or anecdote, or was there a game or a practice that you witnessed that maybe speaks to, how Garway Dual is as a teammate, as off the court, maybe speaks to his character a little bit?
Look, he's a guy that he's not going to cause a whole lot of issues. He's a pretty, laid back guy. There was a lot of personalities on that McNeese team. I'm not going to tell you that he's one that stuck out. I mean, we keep bringing up Copeland. That's a personality. That's for sure. That's an interesting character. It's probably the opposite. Super laid back. Not gonna cause a whole bunch of trouble. He can get gritty. I mean, look, his game is gritty, and he's a fiery guy. But I don't think you're gonna. I think what Coach McNamara wants is exactly what kind of Garway Dual brings. I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, he brings the defensive side of it. He brings the length. Look, it's not often you get a 6'11" point guard. And so that plays. So the size alone plays. But I don't know if there's anything specific that I can give you on his character. He's just a kind of a low, laid back guy.
I mean, that could be a good thing, too.
Yeah.
The fact that you weren't talking about him very much, stays out of trouble, plays well with others, good teammate and good in the locker room, and that's what they're looking for. Listen, Chaston, we really do appreciate the time. Thank you for the insight. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Sorry it was a little bit late, couple of weeks delayed, but we got it figured out. Thanks, guys.
Glad we made it happen. Chaston Tavares, the McNeese State play-by-play man, filling us in on Garway Dual.
He kind of eased a little of my my tensions. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you feel better.
I like it.
So that was a worthwhile interview.
I was worried about it. His playing time worried me, and when he said the coach, played a lot of players, and towards the end of the season he was point guard number one. Kind of relieved my fears.
Good. I'm glad. All right. We'll hit a timeout here. Phone lines open the rest of the way if you want to check in at 315-437-7644. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
I'm just going to let you guys go, okay? You guys go on and say how it's okay to treat people in certain ways and live amongst yourselves. You found it disturbing that he said he didn't turn the ball over? I didn't tell you to be nice, Gaper. I told you just know when you say things, it has ramifications. It affects some people. And I embrace it. Like, I go into it knowing it's going to come back at me. Look in the mirror. Okay. If I ever criticize the players, Michael Antonio, stop. Should you say poor baby? No, maybe just don't say anything. Yeah, I said this is different than doing it on social media. I affect maybe a couple people that I call out personally to, and you can call me right back, right? My phone number is 315-437-7644. You can get right back at me. Criticism is different. Like Tronic, you're just not getting it. You can criticize, you can boo, you can do whatever you want. Just know it could affect them. Repressive state. No, I'm not saying you can't say it. I'm saying just know it might have a negative effect on somebody. All right? That's what I'm saying. I have never once said don't say it. Oh, Michael Antonio, if everybody was as strong as you, the world would be a perfect place. Like, you could legitimately tweet, stop turning the damn ball over at a basketball player. That would be 100% fine with me. Play defense. You can tweet that at him. That's not what was being tweeted at people. Footloose. Worst dancing movie ever, right? Like, these people dance like horribly.
That's fair.
Be better dancers. Like, if you wanted to tweet that at Kevin Bacon, I would be okay with that. You should really be a better dancer if you're going to do a movie about dancing, all right? Like, that's a good tweet. You don't have to get personal and be a jerk about it.
All right, let's get back to the phone lines. We got Dave in Stonington up next. Dave, what's up?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. That's the movie that made Kevin Bacon, though. I mean, he started in Animal House, and he, went down to
Making Bacon?
Footloose.
That's true. That is true, Dave.
As bad a dancer as he was. Hey, Chris Penn was in that, too. Sean Penn's brother, the late Chris Penn. That was his best buddy in that. The guy that you just had on from McNeese talking about Garway, I saw Garway play when he was at Providence, and I'm sure that he's changed a little bit in his 2 years since Providence, and then going to Seton Hall. He's got his ups and downs about him. I texted you a guy, I don't know if you read the text, about Mike Williams. Syracuse recruited him back in 2022. Jerry and the staff recruited this guy. He's out of Maryland. He went to Seton Hall. He's got a nice three in his game. He shoots 70% from the line. He's 6'3". Okay. The guy that you had on talking about McNeese, I saw that game against Rio Grande. The game was played at McNeese. The referees, pure and simple, gave the game to McNeese. Pure and simple. That's how he made a couple nice
You
plays
watched
in the
Rio
game.
Grande versus McNeese State?
Absolutely. There isn't, something, I'm like Boeheim when it comes to games. If it's on and if it's got something on the line, I'll be watching it.
I would rather have my toenails ripped off my feet than watch Rio Grande versus McNeese State.
But, Paulie, you don't see games like that all the time. So it's like, how many times do you see Rio Grande play?
Hopefully none. Hopefully none.
So I was just interested in seeing Rio Grande, so I tuned in the game, and there was Garway, and he made a couple nice plays at the end of the game, and they went on, and they should have lost the game in regulation. How Rio Grande and could take that game into 3 overtimes, I have no idea. But anyway, this kid Williams out of Seton Hall is, like I said, it's somebody that they offered him a scholarship back in 22, and I think that they should look into him.
All right, we've heard this. Like, I get that. Like, you can't go by they offered back in the day. How many times have we heard that this season of transfer portal? Oh, well, they offered this guy, they offered that guy. There's been a couple they tried to, yeah, but it doesn't mean anything.
No, I mean, I do think relationships matter. So
money matters.
I mean, we saw with like Cole Swider, for instance, it mattered.
That was before the money was egregious.
I get it.
They probably would have gotten outbid for Cole Swider.
I get it. I'm just saying, though, that relationships matter. And you know what? We recruited you the first time around. It didn't work out. You're not happy. Why don't you come here? And it did work out with Cole Swider.
I'm so tired of addressing this situation that I stupidly brought up about social media. And now people are saying, Paulie, the guy who calls everybody dumb and attacks them, is now preaching morality to us. If people don't see the difference between what I do and you attacking someone on social media behind an account that doesn't have your actual name on it and you're just being brutal about it, here's what I'll say. Let me defend myself, all right? What I say to you, I say as Paulie Sibilia behind a microphone on a camera, and you can directly respond to me immediately. You can respond to me immediately in our chat to what I say, or call me at 315-437-7644 and say it. We could discuss it out, right? It's a completely different thing.
San Diego Cuse in our chat just took the words out of my mouth. General criticism versus personal criticism. And that's actually what I was going to say before he even sent that, was that you're not saying that everyone is doing this, right? And You're not saying that all criticism is bad. What you're saying is the criticism that crosses the line. You say, well, what crosses the line? I think we're all adults. We know, or you should know, kind of what crosses the line. And what Coleman Hawkins is talking about, and, random SEC kicker that gets death threats for missing a field goal, like that, those things are crossing the line, right? We're not talking about general criticism. Don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, play better defense.
Play better,
The best example, Steve, I can give involves me and Donnie Freeman. And I said it best because I'm the smartest man alive. It's one thing to criticize Donnie Freeman about his defense, his playing of basketball. To say he's faking injury because he's on a bad team, it's too far. It's you can't say somebody is like faking an injury to get out of playing basketball.
Yeah.
Unless you know it 100% to be true.
Yeah, well, some people did, right? They knew he was 100% transferring after his freshman year, and he was sitting out because he didn't want to play for this worst coach in the country.
Yet again, Paul overgeneralizing and his ineffective communication and his polarizing taste will get him in trouble. No, I'm not overgeneralizing. It affects social media, affects players at every level, guys.
I don't know I don't know why this is hard. I don't know why this is hard.
You can say whatever you want. Just know it affects people. People can speculate. Eliar, do you think it's okay to speculate that somebody is doing something wrong that is like almost like you're calling into question their character? Like if someone speculated about you in a way that you didn't like, that wasn't even remotely true, like it's not okay.
All right, you want to get one more phone call in this segment?
Paulie's Loft is a safe space. No, it's not. Like, I am the least safe space person on earth. I just want people to know that if you say anything, it could affect someone negatively. Thank you.
Scooter in Janesville up next. Scooter, what's
Speaking
going on?
of dumb people, Scooter, how are
There you go. Hey, listen, let's change the name of the show to the Nutty and the Professor. I think that'd be a good name
It
for
used
you
to
guys.
be Polly and the Professor. We used to have a segment called
Yeah.
that.
By the way, Paul, good overnight last night, Sonny.
Thank you.
Started out with Matchbox at 2:30 in the morning. And he still had Bon Jovi going on at 6. It's better than an alarm clock, I tell you.
You make me sound like I play the same 2 songs over and over again. I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, we had a choice. We had an over/under when you're going to play Eddie Murphy, but you didn't play it last night, so you must have played it 4 nights in a row. But I think it's the only song I think you ever did. But I'm glad. It's Happy Days 1. And that was a good one. The episode I remember was a sports one when Richie was a substitute and got in one of the playoff games in high school, and he made a basket, and so he had to start the next game, and they detained him, the opposition, high school, to try to stop him from playing, and they got a female that tried to seduce him, and I tell you, she was not high school age. We were all in high school, and we said, man, I wish they were built that way in high school. But the end of it, when he missed it, there was a big Lifesavers commercial where people having a bad day would offer a Lifesaver. So he missed the shot, and they're walking out of the gym, and his father offered him a Lifesaver, and I wonder how much money they paid for that commercial. But that was good. And don't have to worry about St. John's, the center from Arizona State. Somehow Gonzaga outbid St. John's, so they play St. John's. You don't have to worry about the 7-footer from Arizona State. So that's good news for Syracuse if they do play St. John's.
All right,
And
Gonzaga hit, Sunny 102 hit. You're doing great, Scooter.
And also, Paulie, the Derby's this week, but you can't bet at Del Largo like when you drove up there one time. So
I think I'm going to Del Lago this weekend.
You can't bet the Derby. Remember you drove up there.
Yeah, they're having the world's largest 80s party this weekend, and I think I'm going to go.
Nice.
I think I'm going to go. So if anybody wants to come up and criticize me to my face,
you'll be there.
Sure, I'll be.
All right, Scooter, as always, thanks for checking in.
That sounds like right up my alley. The world's largest 80s party.
It does sound
yeah,
right up your alley.
I think I'm going to go check it out.
Okay, let's hit a timeout. We'll get to today's business on the other side. We are back after this on ESPN Radio.
Okay, guys, this is another great example of it. All right, do you guys not get when I say you're dumb or your take's dumb? We're talking about us in a conversation, me saying that you're dumb. And then you guys go on and say I have erectile dysfunction. I'm gay. It's unbelievable that you guys don't see the difference.
I mean, I could bring up a couple soccer examples. A guy who plays at Barcelona who had to take a month-long break because he was getting threatened online. In the 2021 Euro Cup final.
I'm a tiny little man who has socially retarded, basically.
Yeah.
Oops, I said the R word.
Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford missed penalties. They lost the Euro Cup final. They were horrifically threatened, told to kill themselves on social media for missing a penalty kick. It deeply affected. Jadon Sancho has really never recovered playing in England. He has to go to Germany pretty much to play well. So.
Okay, maybe not erectile function, but I have been accused of not being able to satisfy a woman.
Because you make money does not make you.
Yeah, I don't make money either.
Ironclad.
Yeah, I take mental health. Is a serious thing.
And the other thing is too, a lot of sponsors want you on social media.
It must be tough being gay with ED. YouTube chat.
Kirby Doc, Montreal Canadiens, last week. He made 2 mistakes.
I don't think there's any ladies in the. Open called the ladies would be fine in this chat, and you wouldn't get an answer, let alone one that I've satisfied.
But yeah, Kirby Doc, he made 2 mistakes. They lost the playoff game to the Lightning. Him and his wife had to delete social media because they got horrifically threatened. I guess all this, some people in the chat want.
Sasser man, I see him. Paulie is a CNY legend with a drinking problem. Let's get real. We'll help him with that.
But I guess some of these people just want them to wake up, practice, go home, go to sleep, wake up, go to a game.
Yes, guys do, but I handle it fine. But if you don't see the difference between me saying your sports take is dumb and you calling me gay is like, I'm also 53.
How old are they?
Yeah, there's a huge difference between me.
They're 20, 21. Maybe nowadays actually a bit older, but still.
I wish I still had a drinking problem sometimes, though. I do. Sometimes and I do every once in a while. Like usually once every couple of years, I get it. My 50th birthday, I got hammered. I got drunk. I used to get the Bayheim gala after every all the important stuff had ended. I would just go get drunk and then crawl back up to my hotel room.
He pointed at you at his 50th birthday, like you had to take care of him. I was there. Well, I had a feeling you were there, but he was like...
Yeah, I didn't get drunk while I was hanging out with you. Oh, at my 50th? Yeah. At the Bayheim, though, I waited till you were gone and everybody was...
Oh, yeah. At your 50th.
Well, yeah, I didn't hold back at my 50th.
The way he did this was like you had to take care of him almost.
I think it was... You witnessed that. That was how I took it.
Yeah. It happens once in a while. I'm not like in AA or anything. I just cold turkeyed. I don't like this next song, and it might get me in trouble for saying that. This is not a good song. 1984 sucked because of this song.
Change your tune.
Is this the one with the... Is this the one with weird video? Is this the one that had the weird video with the clay making of his face?
Correct.
The blind girl felt his face like Rocky Dennis?
Yes.
In the movie?
Yes.
What was that movie called? With Cher?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know.
I don't know why I've seen that movie so much and I can't say the name of it. Or the guy with the weird mask, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but
You didn't see that?
No.
It was such a weird movie. I think it was a true story.
There are clips in the
You kind of
video.
look like that guy. Anybody ever tell you that your celebrity look like me?
No, never. You're so funny.
Man, you ever put up a picture of Steve and Rocky Dennis next to each other? I apologize. I was mean-spirited.
It's okay.
Yeah, come on. You just spent the whole show, and now you've done this to Steve.
Yeah.
Tweet it at me.
Steve could...
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I would never tweet that out. It's a horrible tweet. You don't, Steve, you are a handsome man.
I don't need you to tell me that. Thank you.
You're a handsome man, and you don't look anything like Rocky Dennis.
Thank you for clarifying.
Just wanted to make that was a joke. Okay.
All right. The other voice you hear, that is Paul, our producer. He's here with today's business. What do you have, Paul?
Today's business brought to you by Superior Plus Propane. First thing I want to say is One Shining Moment sounded great for me out there. I just played it before I came in here. It sounded perfect. I don't know what the problem is in here.
You didn't need to defend yourself. But, it was the most orange.
It was not perfect in here.
Yeah.
No.
That's where it matters.
Because when Scooter called, he was like, was that you? And I was like, I think it went about as well as we hoped it would.
So this may be what happened, Paulie. You got up and went to the bathroom or something, so we were chatting about it. He went back to the link from 2003 because he said that's the year Syracuse won the national title.
It was the official YouTube.
That may, it's obviously an older.
But if it sounded good, he probably just saved it at a lower bit rate.
I might have. Yeah, that's a good. I didn't check that.
So you didn't check it after you saved it?
I just saved it.
Yeah, he probably saved it at too low of a bit rate.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
I saved it in the main. How I save everything.
It was a very Orange Nation moment.
Yeah.
I think it went well.
We'll still be talking about it during next year's tournament. Hopefully there won't be a
Just
tournament.
use it. No, that's got to be the song we use every time.
year. I started a new, hopefully
trend.
not tradition, because we're in the tournament. But all right, today's business. Let's get to it. So, Kentucky Derby's coming up this weekend. I feel like there's not a lot of promotion that I normally see.
Well, I was going to say, I hope you don't ask me who my pick is. I don't know a single horse in the race.
I pulled up some of the horse names, and then I looked up Mask, and now I'm there. But here we go. Okay. Some of them, we were laughing about some of them on Gomez, I want to say this morning. And now the website has crashed on me, so never mind. There go the names of the horses, Steve. You could pull them up. But some of them,
I'm pulling them up as we speak.
there are always some great names.
I like to pick the weirdest name and bet on that one.
Yeah, there are some good names. And one of the weird names this year actually has good odds to where you might win. So you could go celebrate your 80s party and win some money.
Renegade is 5-1. Commandment is 8-1. So Happy is 6-1. The Puma is 5-1. Further Ado is 7-1. Those seem to be the favorites.
Yeah. Do you know what I always end up doing, speaking of going up to Del Lago when I go there, is I always stop at the Waterloo outlets and spend all my money.
Yeah.
Right to Party? That's a good name.
I thought that might have been a Chiefs horse for a second. I thought maybe Travis Kelce was in the Derby. I think Jason Worth's back in the Derby again.
Incredibolt?
Yeah, Incredibolt's a good name.
Chief Wallaby? Silent Tactic. Pavlonian. That's a good one.
Pavlonian. I had a...
Further Ado is 6-1. Golden Tempo is 30-1. Great White is 50-1. Robusta.
That's the one. Robusta was the one, yeah.
50-1. Robusta.
That's what I mean.
Like that one.
You could win a lot of money betting on that horse. And then, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it came down, I think, right at the start of the show, basically, that Duke has entered a first-of-the-kind partnership with Amazon. They will have 3 marquee men's games televised next season. The games televised will be UConn, Michigan, and Gonzaga on Amazon Prime. And so I wonder...
So it's a school-exclusive deal?
It's a school... yeah.
It seems like it goes against everything that you would think would be legal.
Well, they're non-conference games. So
they're not, yeah.
It's not an ACC-type situation.
But this could turn into something where you want to schedule top talent.
Yeah, but Amazon's not coming for bad like if Syracuse continues its downward trajectory, Amazon's not coming to look.
No, I know that. Duke is marquee, like the number one. It's a good team to start with.
Being on ESPN plus ain't going to make you much money.
What I wonder is UConn, Michigan, and Gonzaga going to get some of this money? Or is this all just Duke? And now, since they're scheduled to play Duke...
I mean, I would guess in the contract to play the game that that would be spelled out. I would assume that. I mean, Michigan's not. We're not talking about like Central Michigan. We're talking about Michigan,
national champion.
Yeah, my guess is they would get a cut of it. I mean, but that would be spelled out in the contract, is my guess.
Yeah, but I feel like this is now going to turn into a. Netflix probably will jump in and do some stuff.
Yes, they wouldn't agree to play that game if they weren't getting paid.
I wonder how long this has been in the works. It had to have been in the works, and they maybe went to a UConn and went, "Look, we have Amazon Prime. They're willing to televise it. Here's some of the money, 50-50 or whatever it would be." But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a new trend.
Syracuse stays on this trajectory. They'll be playing games on Netscape Navigator, Steve.
I have no idea what that is.
Web crawler. Real player. CompuServe.
I'm lost. What is this?
These are just all old internet things.
Is this before like YouTube?
Search engines.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is this like YouTube before YouTube?
This is like before Google.
Wow.
Or before. What's the
Syracuse? Hey, catch Syracuse Providence on Ask Jeeves. Web TV, very good. That's another funny one.
All right, you got anything else, Paul? Or should we just move on to Paulie's kicker?
We should. I mean, I don't know. I just put this on the rundown because I feel like Paulie would like this. A guy decided to make it his mission to skydive and solve a Rubik's Cube in a record time. And he broke the world record, 22 seconds. He took the jump out of a plane, solved the Rubik's Cube, and then pulled his chute.
Really?
Yeah. There's a whole video. It's on YouTube.
It's quite a skill.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like Paulie likes flying, so I wanted to just bring that up for him.
I feel like that's a kicker before Paulie's kicker.
Yeah, this is a good one, Steve. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago. Pizza Hut is bringing back its Book It Summer. Summer reading program returns to provide young kids who read with pizza parties and more. So you remember that, Steve?
We talked about this not that long ago.
Yeah, if you read books, if you're a kid and you read a certain amount of books, you get pizza parties. The program is through K through 6th graders. You sign up with the Book It app, and it will track your reading. So what is old is new again. Let's get people reading books again. Get off social media.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Get yourself a stuffed crust pizza.
Are they reading them on the website?
No, it's an honor system. It's also National Honesty Day. It's an honor system.
So everyone's just going to BS this.
No. That's not how it works.
Not everyone.
No, but today's day and age, there's going to be a lot of kids who are like, yeah, all right. I read 15
Why
books.
do you hate this younger generation?
I'm just saying that's how it's going to go.
Kim just texted me to pass this along if we cared. Darrell Smith, former SU football player, he will be on Beat Bobby Flay tonight, 9 o'clock on the Food Network. So there you go. Darrell Smith has made quite a name for himself in that arena.
Loved like the Food Network. Did you like Iron Chef?
Yes.
I liked the original. They had some, like if you watch the original ones from Japan, they had some bonkers.
the ingredients.
Secret ingredients. You're like, I wouldn't eat anything made with that.
No, that's it. That's accurate. That's accurate. All right, let's hit a timeout here. We've got. We're going to wrap things up on the other side. Still time for a phone call if you want to check in.
People also still signing in with places you could catch Syracuse games. MySpace.
I know that one.
Steve, MySpace is Syracuse games available on MySpace.
Did you have a MySpace?
Photo Bucket.
I mean, everybody had a MySpace.
Okay.
You could catch him on Photo Bucket, Steve.
We need to. I'm gonna find your guys' MySpace. Pull that up. That's a good summer.
Mine is still there.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good summer thing.
There
right
was a
there.
creepy time when somebody went through all of my pictures on my MySpace page and shared them with the chat and stuff. It's bonkers.
That's weird.
All right, we'll wrap things up on the other side. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
That is a bit weird. Young Steve tearing up the town, posting all those pictures
Steve
on
didn't have
MySpace.
enough friends for a top 5. It was top 8. Was it?
That's how Gilbert Arenas got his nickname.
Steve loves watching chefs
On
cook
MySpace.
something he would never eat. Whoa, look at how much salt they put on that. That's crazy. It's too hot.
Honestly, I think that's half the reason why I like the Food Network, because it's stuff it's like YouTube. I watch a lot of food on YouTube. I'll never eat this, but it's like, all right, I like it. So
They should put their games on Omegle.
I know Omegle.
And like people just randomly pop into it.
They should have done that during COVID. As fans, have people logging in and out.
What did I say about Pat that made him call me Steve unprofessional? That I said that he has good points, but he asks him in a rude, bullish way. The question.
Unprofessional. How many years are on your wheel?
20 to 80 to 20.
Oh, okay.
I got to do that. Or was it because I called Steve Rocky Dennis? I've had some real cutting edge current events, pop culture takes. You look like Rocky Dennis. Syracuse is streaming their games on Netscape Navigator.
He's pulling stuff on
The top 7 songs from 1984.
So MySpace was top 8?
Yeah, you had top 8 friends.
Oh.
You would not have made my list.
No?
Sorry,
I
I
wouldn't?
apologize.
Oh, that's sad.
In the past. I got to stop putting random year generator. That's what I need.
Can I create a MySpace account today?
Oh, 1980 through 2000. That's the year.
2000.
We should mention.
There's not much to mention. I know. 3-0. But hey. Little bounce back, Severino. Good start.
Let's go.
God damn it. Pick a year. We've done this many years and I'm struggling. See how I'm writing them down, Steve?
Yeah.
Got it.
That is good.
Might have made more sense to. Oh, you're going backwards. I see. I was going to say to do them in order, but you have an order. It's just a backwards order. Okay.
Steve approves.
Thank you. You think I was just willy-nilly random?
Well, I started here, and I was like, why is he going?
No, I'm starting at 2000 and counting down.
I see. I got you.
It's a countdown.
I got you.
Happy birthday, Willie Nelson.
My first computer was a TRS-80.
This bread smells good.
Yeah, I never finished it.
Yeah, low viewership today. I think my social media take got everybody mad.
Maybe they'll go to social media and let you know about it.
I had a Commodore 64 also.
No Macintosh?
I used to buy a thing called Compute Magazine, and it had games that you could write for yourself in, what the hell was that? The old computer language. You'd write it.
Oh.
And it wasn't coding back then, but you could make up. That one completely caught me off guard. I was just babbling away and didn't even realize the commercial break was over. But this is a slow skate and a banger. Number 1, 1984. Another one. Phil Collins was the king of pump your fist songs that you sang after you got dumped.
Just let you leave without a trace.
This is a good song.
Yeah, it is, bro.
When I stand here,
There's one thing we can all agree on. Whether it's, we may not agree that about being mean to people on social media. We can all agree that Against All Odds is a good song. We also could agree that any joke with Netscape Navigator in it is funny.
I love it that Paul's like, what is it? I'm lost.
I learned some things today.
It's just a complete, we grew up at different times. I can't grasp social media in the way that, living on it like 18-year-olds do. I rarely tweet. I'm on Facebook a little. I like to post stories. Steve, you want to rock out?
Let him cook.
We had to get to the refrain.
We're not close yet. You want to go?
Such a good song.
This is how our show's going to end.
Exactly.
You're going to be walking down Walton Street, and I'm going to be screaming this to you. Here we are. It's a weird show today.
It is. We do have to get into our Yankees update, sponsored by the Wildcat. Yankees shut out yesterday in Texas 3-0. Promising start from Elmer Rodriguez, 22 years old, making his Major League debut. Pitched well. Didn't give up a run until the 5th.
Elmer is an old person name, right?
Yeah. Got tagged for 2 runs in the 5th, and then Yankees never recovered from that. They ended up losing
like naming someone
3-0.
Doris.
A's bounced back with a 5-2 win over the Royals. Still a game up in the division. Let's go A's. Better than I expected.
Someone, Sasser Sammy says, best Phil Collins work is with Genesis. Yeah, yes, maybe. I think he had way more hits as a solo. I think they only had one number 1 hit is Genesis, and that was Invisible Touch.
You guys know the Bugaloos? You remember the Bugaloos?
The Bugaloos?
Yeah.
No.
This is from Gomez this morning. It was a show about like little bugs. It was for kids.
No.
So we were looking that up, and apparently Phil Collins got turned down to be on that show, and then went and joined Genesis.
Really?
So, yeah, he was almost.
Did you know Alanis Morissette was on You Can't Do That on television?
Really? I did not know that.
And Barf Burgers? Yeah. The year tomorrow will be 1997.
Okay.
Did you know Gary Gnu was on the Great Space Coaster?
I thought Gary Gnu was a golfer. I'm kidding.
Yeah, leave the jokes to me.
Tony Fanu.
Wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. No, you said that. You thought that was how you pronounced his name. I do remember that, Paulie. And Paul has no idea.
I have no. I didn't know about the Bugaloos until Gomez said it. So
yeah, you're so young. Yeah.
Oddly enough, at least when it comes to school, I'm closer to you guys than kids are to me, because I still remember chalkboards. I still remember textbooks.
They don't have chalkboards anymore?
No. By the time I hit like 8th grade,
dry erase boards.
Yeah, there's
for the most part
a lot of dry erase boards now. By the time I hit 8th grade, it was like.
Did you ever have a teacher throw out an eraser at you?
Yeah.
When I remember, I don't know if this is the same for you. We had to
clean them if you were bad.
You're right. You would have to clap out the erasers.
If you were bad, you had to go outside and clap out the erasers.
Yeah, that's right.
I like doing that because it got me out of the classroom.
You have to write things on the chalkboard 1,000 times. I had that.
No, I never did that.
I wouldn't shut up one day, and a teacher threw an eraser at me.
Threw an eraser at you?
It was wild. It was Wild West.
I was going to say that in the
1970s. Yeah,
I had an eraser thrown at me.
You did?
Did you ever have a teacher hit your knuckles with like a ruler?
No.
I was clicking my pen. I told this story the other day. I was clicking my pen like this in class.
Yeah.
And the teacher knocked the pen out of my hand with a yardstick.
We had a nun in 2nd grade who had a wooden spoon that she would use, and actually did use it.
Did you ever get it?
I never got it.
My mom.
I was very well behaved.
My mom would use the spoon on us.
Yeah.
If we like touched our foods with our hands, she would somehow use her 4'11" frame and like go edged arms across the table and just crack your knuckles with a knife.
You probably seemed so tall at that point. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day, though. I was like, I remember bringing textbooks home and like the vocab books, writing in the vocab books.
And I tell the story, like I got paddled. I got paddled at school.
I remember that. Yes.
If that happened now, the school would get sued. The moral of my story was pick better friends and you won't get paddled.
Yeah, that would not fly present day.
Yeah.
Would not fly. All right, we got to go. Tim is on later tonight, correct?
He's remote
from Charlotte.
Charlotte,
yes, as he gets ready for the ACC tournament. We are out of time. For Paul Lee, I'm Steve. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again at noon tomorrow, everybody.